So, a few days ago, I asked you guys to hit me up with some questions on Instagram related to car photography. And to be honest, I got a little bit overwhelmed. There's a lot, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to cover it all. So, right after the intro Q&A coming up. Alright, let's get started. Roy Van Buren, I'm assuming you're Roy, you're from Holland, Belgium or something like that. Asking, what was the first car you ever shot? My car, the Mustang GT. What made you get into car photography? That was the 1B. Same question, same guy. I really loved my car when I bought it. I was obsessed with it. And I couldn't stop taking pictures with the phone, and then I realized that all of my photos that I post on Instagram look like shit. So I just upgraded. I just got a camera, I think it was a Canon or something like that. Canon, basic Canon, something, my brother-in-law gave it to me. And I started taking pictures, and then I upgraded from there. Dane's photo. When and where to use strobes on cars. You can use them anytime, anywhere. It's up to you. Some people just choose not to use them. Maybe it's necessary when the light is too hard, when the sun is like hitting really hard around noon or 2 p.m. But other than that, I think you can. I don't think you have to use it at all, or you can use it whenever you want. It's just a matter of choice. Ford Mustang Club, really big page on Instagram, and thank you for all the support, man. What camera would you recommend to a noob looking into shooting cars as a hobby? Very simple, Sony A7 Alpha, the basic Sony full frame mirrorless camera that I'd recommend it to anyone. I started with that. That was my second camera, sorry, and I think it's an awesome camera. You don't need anything better than that. What you should be focusing more is on locations and lighting and all that, but man, you don't need that expensive camera. And Sentry 5.0, one of the Mustang owners, cool photographer too. Should you use a CPL at all times, or is there a certain instances where you shouldn't? This is a good question. No, you don't have to use the CPL at all times. You don't have to use it at all, but are you able to position the car and the camera in a way where you don't have harsh reflections on the side of your car? If you're able to do that, you don't need the CPL at all. So I wouldn't say that you have to use it all the time, and I'm not saying that the best photos are usually with the CPL, but if you are not able to position the car correctly, or put the camera in a certain angle where you cut the reflections, I would definitely recommend it. JP.shoots. How to get started using flash for car photography. Camera on tripod, trigger that goes on top of your camera, strobe, the flash. Doesn't have to be expensive. Godox AD200 Pro, awesome strobe. You don't need anything better than that. I would recommend to get a remote. Something like this. It's a Sony's remote that helps you to go far away from the car, from the camera. Sorry, and you can, with pressing this button, you press the shutter, and you can walk around the car, and you don't need a light stand maybe, and it just makes it so much easier. A3 Monsoon. How do you find good locations? That's an awesome question. I don't stop looking around. When I'm going to a grocery store, I'm just driving and I'm looking around if there's a spot. When I'm driving to Brooklyn or to somewhere far in Jersey or anywhere, whenever I'm in the car, I'm just looking around and looking for locations. It's some kind of an obsession, to be honest. Sometimes on the weekends I just drive for 2 hours and just look for locations. I just pick a random direction and just look for locations, believe it or not. Sometimes I go on Google Maps and I zoom in and just like go along the coast, and I pay attention to where the sun is going to be coming from. It's not easy. I've been doing this for a while, and I think I've seen all the locations in Jersey and New York that you can find. I don't know, man, there's like so many spots that I've been to, and it's becoming a huge issue for me, to be honest. That's it, man. Just Google Maps and just driving around, that's all. White knuckle Hemis. How do you take advantage of using multiple exposures when editing in Photoshop? If you take one shot and bring down the highlights or raise the shadows in that one shot, one layer, you're basically ruining the pixels all across. If you take 3 shots, one focusing on the car, one with lower exposure just for the sky, and one with a little bit higher exposure just for the foreground or maybe for the shadows, and you connected those 3 photos in Photoshop with layer stacking, masking layers, sorry, you maintain the quality all across the photo. You're not killing the pixels, you're just adding pixels on top of each other. So it makes the photo look much better, much cleaner. Bobby Media. What focus setting do you use when you're taking rollers? So it's different for every camera. I have a Sony A7R III, and what I usually do is I lock the focus. So I have a center lock. The focus just locks in the middle of the image, in the middle of the frame, and I just follow the center lock. It just stays there and doesn't move. Every time I press the button halfway, it just focuses right there in the middle. Or even better, there's a option where the focus follows the subject. I haven't used it yet. I didn't need it, but if you're planning on getting a Sony, or if you already have a Sony, check it out in your settings. It's a pretty cool little thing about Sony. Marek Vanulek, I believe you're from Czech Republic, Slovakia, or something like that. Somewhere from Europe. How to get consistent exposures with strobes in camera or Photoshop or both? Thanks. That's a good question. I go by one rule. I always keep the same distance away from the car. So depending on the strength of your light or ambient light and whatever the conditions are in the situation where you are, I always try to stay the same distance away from the car, from the first shot for the rear, for the second shot for the middle, for the third shot for the front. I'm always standing like maybe 2 steps away from the car. Simon, Rajanv, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Simon. What lights and strobes do you use? I'm using one strobe. It's the Godox AD600 Pro, and I have a trigger for it, of course. And what was the question? What lights and strobes? And I'm using the Westcott Ice Light for light painting. Here's a very good question. How to get Centurion photo? How to get the eye, knowing what angles look good, also show us some good angles. I'm not going to show you any good angles right now. You can check my Instagram page or my website. I believe they're all good angles. But the first part of the question, how to get the eye, knowing what angles look good, that's something that you don't learn. I believe that's talent. And honestly, I'm not talented. I'm just looking what other people do, what other photographers are doing. But it's definitely talent, and let me explain. There's people who are not technically really good photographers. They don't maybe use the gear or don't use the Photoshop and all that, but they just have this eye and are able to see a photo and are able to see things through a frame that maybe I'm not able to do or see. So that's definitely something that you're born with, maybe. all the great photographers are probably talented and are really good with the technical side of photography, but having the eye is just that's something that you don't learn that, man. You're just born with it. Some people really know how to shoot photos, and they see everything through a frame. And one of these photographers that I can tell you has this eye and is just able to see things better than everybody else is Frederick Schlosser. Check him out. He's my absolute number one, and he definitely defines this eye that you were talking about. How do you get new clients? By Nortjeblokland. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, man. I'm sorry. You're probably from somewhere from Sweden, Norway, Finland, Denmark. I'll try it again. Nurtje, or Nurt. Sorry, man. Anyway, how do you get new clients? So this is something that I learned from a great photographer. I actually print my photos on a postcard, just like this. It's a little postcard. I'm not sure if you can see it. And I find a company that I would like to work with. I don't know, McLaren, Ford, dealership, somebody around that might be looking for a photographer. I find the person that is in charge of marketing, and I write something on the back of my photo. On this postcard, I write something asking if they would like to work with me, or maybe they're looking for a photographer or something like that, and I put it in the envelope, and I use one of my stickers with my logo, just like that. It's very representable, and I send it, and it goes straight to the person that I'm supposed to be dealing with. It's different than a mail. It's something that people can touch. It's more personal. So this is one of the ways that one of the things that I do. Also, Instagram, my website, and I'm actually planning on paying for a really good ad. I just started a Facebook page as well, even though I hate Facebook, but it was necessary. But yeah, man, it's in any way possible. What is the worst mistake you ever made in car photography? I was shooting a car maybe 2 months ago, and I was so obsessed with the shot. I was so focused on shooting the car that I barely noticed that it started raining, and my flash, my old Godox, just burnt, and now it's useless, but it was a nice strobe, and I really loved it. But yeah, I lost my strobe while shooting a car. That was my worst mistake, if it's a mistake. Next question is from Photoshop. I'm not sure, but that's a good friend from Instagram, and he's also, I'll put a link up. He's really cool. He knows how to work in Photoshop. He is very good with editing. He's asking if there's any car tutorials coming soon. I would love to learn from you. Yeah, man, I'm working on a really big video on how to shoot with a strobe. Alex snaps. What's your ideal time to shoot? Sundown, blue hour, golden hour, morning, night, etc. My favorite time of the day to shoot is, by far, without any doubt, sunrise. It's so much better than the sunset. Not just because of the colors and the lighting and all that, but because I don't feel like I'm in a rush. When the sun is coming down, you're losing light, and you're just like, in a hurry, non-stop. What makes you different from other automotive photographers, in your opinion? G_spar_li. This is a tough question. You're asking me to talk about myself, which is I find it extremely difficult, but I'll do my best. I think that I provide good value. I don't take 100 photos and pick which 10 or 15 or 20 shots I like the most, but I really focus on 10 or 15 shots and put all my heart and soul into it, not just at the location, but during the post-processing as well. It takes me a little bit longer to edit my photos, but I believe, I want to believe that I'm doing it right, and that the final product is clean and memorable. I'm not sure what else to say. It's a very subjective thing, you know. I think I think you or the client should be the ones judging, not me. So I hope that answers your question. Simon is asking, what is the most annoying thing about Instagram and Instagram users? You know, those people that you look up to, people that I look up to, and that I always supported and shared their work, brought people on their page, you know, like their photos, comment their photos, like, you know, fully support them, and they never ever say thank you or hit the follow button or like my photo, or they're just assholes that are like tripping or something. It's like an ego thing or something like that, you know. I'm extremely annoyed by that. I hope I covered enough questions. I didn't expect that many, and when you make a video that is like 10 minutes long, nobody even watches anymore. People are in a rush, I guess. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It would mean so much. If I didn't cover your question, please leave it in the comment below, and I'll catch up with you. And until the next video, you know, take care.